Alright, so this is the last video I'm going to record about this. I stripped this entire project to show that this is nothing to do with any of the grouping or any of the crazy stuff that was going on in that big project. I stripped everything down to the bare bones. All I have is this Pro Q4 on this kick, and it is getting a sidechain signal from the ding. And I'll play it again. So before, what was happening is it would sidechain on this ding, and then the second kick, it would get a sidechain signal again, even though there was no ding there, and it would give a weird distortion noise back. But that problem has gone away where it does not give the distortion effect anymore, the sound, but it's still giving this, like, it's still sidechaining at points that it shouldn't. And what's weird is that all this automation lane is right here is turning on and off Pro Q4. There it is, off, on. And when I mess with this, it really, look at this. This is what's messing it up. Just that simple change didn't actually affect anything, but now, see, if I undo this, there really wasn't anything happening. It seems like a lot of different things are affecting this problem. But see, there it is. But then when I switch it, it was a little one if you saw that reduction. If I switch this over here, all of a sudden it just changes how the whole thing reacts. So depending on a couple of different things, this side chain is going to act very strangely, and the timing of this side chain is sometimes going to react at points in which it shouldn't. The normal way how this is supposed to be working right now is that every time this ding hits, we should get this kind of dynamic EQ reaction. All these sounds should get pulled, but they should only get pulled when the ding happens, just like they did right there. And on the off kick, nothing should happen. So there we go, we got the reduction. Now on the off kick, there's something still happening there, and that should not be the case. This has happened to me on multiple tracks with a bunch of different things, a bunch of different times, and it's caused weird issues. And so I don't know if a bug is the right term, but this has happened with different plugins, and it all comes back to the common problem is that they all have some sort of sidechain effect on a third-party plugin. And the problem is that this sidechain is a big part of these third-party plugins. A lot of these plugins heavily rely on this sidechain function. So when you have problems like this, where it's audibly nothing's happening in this instance right here on the second kick, but there has been times where it has created weird noises when it should not even be reacting at that instance. So I don't know. Maybe it's an Ableton 12 bug. I'm not sure what the problem is. But again, this is the whole project. There's nothing else. I'll delete everything else to make sure there's nothing here. There's 2 tracks with a dynamic EQ on one of the tracks. And the dynamic EQ should only be, because it's reacting to this side chain, it should only be reacting when this ding noise right here hits. So it should only hit right there, and it did that time. On the off kick, it shouldn't react, but it just did. Here we go again. That's normal. Off kick, shouldn't have reacted, but it just reacted. Because, yeah, it's only supposed to be reacting when there is a signal coming from the ding track. And on 20 and on 22, there is no signal coming from this ding track, but it's reacting as if there is. and I don't know what the problem is. I will say something that I have noticed is that this could be a latency issue, because I don't know why this is a very simple process that is going on right now with this Pro Q4, and for some reason there's a lot of latency. Like, that shouldn't, like, it should look a lot smooth. Like, look at the delay in that, in the visually at least. There shouldn't be that. Like, this is a simple function that is happening. There's a lot of latency here for some reason, and I have no idea. Interestingly, I have this automation. This is an on and off automation I showed before. If I turn that off and disable the automation, the latency goes away. And so do the problems. So it seems as though this is a latency issue. But I guess the problem is, I guess that's a Pro Q4 problem, that it's creating so much latency with such a simple task. But yeah, I guess that's it. It's a latency issue. So when there's an excessive amount of latency, it's going to cause this sidechain function to react in a way that it shouldn't. I don't know if that's just a product of, stuff messing up, or if maybe this is something that can be fixed based on the coding in Ableton 12. I'm not sure, but it's very interesting that this happens, and I'm sure that I will not be the last person to run into this problem. So yeah, I hope this sheds some light on an interesting problem. Or maybe it doesn't. There's just something wrong with my computer. That would be good too. But what's going on here doesn't really make sense. So yeah, very interesting. Somehow, I guess the solution is just to try to reduce the latency on it. I don't know what the solution is, because sometimes, like, I won't have an automation like this on and I'll just have a bunch of latency like this. I don't know what the solution is in a scenario like that. So yeah, I guess it's just something to watch out for.